Hey everybody, sorry I was late. I couldn't find the live button. But I'm on now. Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. Hey, how you guys doing? Oh, cool. Pause due to poor connection. Okay. Everybody can see and hear me okay? Keeps doing this. Hey Erica, what's up? I'll just give everybody a couple seconds before I start reading, I guess. But then I'll read. So I was gonna read 10 from my book, and then I'll take questions if you have questions for me. And then I was gonna read some new ones, like about 5, and then I can end it there, if that's okay. It's weird not seeing anybody's face, but okay. How's everybody doing? Staying at home? Hey Val. Oh, your sister's on. Very cool. So if you guys didn't, just so you know, the book is on Amazon. So you can buy it on there for $10 if you wanted to, in paperback, and $5 on Kindle. But if you want a drawing in the book and it's signed, you can Venmo me $20 and I'll send it to you if I can get to the post office. So if you want my information for that, you can just direct message me at my Instagram page, which is just at Mungiello. And that's it. Or my Facebook is fine too, for everybody that's on Facebook. So I guess I'll start reading then. So yeah, it's my first poetry book, and it's called Streamlining Oblivion. Hey Michelle. All right. This poem is called "I Love Her." I'll wave to you too. I push her buttons. She vibrates, validating my choices, acknowledging my thoughts. She recognizes my face, no matter how dark or bright, when covered in shadow. From the day's labor, tousled, from yesterday's trials, anxious, from yet another pile, she sees only me and willingly unlocks herself so I can surf along her slippery surface, gliding finger to finger. She will never choose my neighbor, for she is mine, made for me by another. Was I made for her? No matter, she lives in my pocket. I let her out whenever I need her. That's the first one I wrote. And there's a little drawing too, if you could see it. Try to get both cameras. Number 1. So this one, there's a drawing too, actually. It's a kid's book. This one's called Welcome, and I wrote it after taking a walk and seeing some caution tape up from a house that was being sold, from a guy that lived there since I was a kid. Welcome. When I was a kid, he walked hand in hand with his son, Jim. When I was a teen, he visited on Sundays, pulling up the driveway in a Chevy 88. When I was in college, he moved back in. Lights were on again. When I got married, his son, Jim, carried him through the doorway. Cancer ate the frame. Welcome. Leaves dreamed as they collected on concrete, piles of skin, auburn. Now I'm 30, his house is empty, silent, gated in yellow tape, tape that screams caution, caution along a December breeze. Thanks for the thumbs up. And the heart. That was you. This one's called Motherhood, and actually it's my first one to get published in a magazine, which was kind of cool. So it's called Motherhood. When I birthed 2, I split in 3, millions of pieces to see, but for now I'll watch dandelions bleed. Some of them are really short. This is another one actually that got published in a newsletter in Baltimore a couple weeks ago. So it's called The Jungle. He stood above him, a boy no older than 10, compressing grass. His heat out with a flash left for the crows. Where will he go? Nobody yet knows. The man's knuckles bled, skin razored down dried paper. He crouched, knees cracked under the weight of his pack, finger to finger, laid across the boy's lids. His other hand on his shoulder, skin cool like new silver. He closed his eyes and lay next to the boy. In a different time, he could have been the boy, seeing through his eyes, so he pinched tighter and tried to wonder what it was like to be another. He saw the boy's mother, a ghost too, sweeping the muck with a broom made of bamboo. He felt the boy's chest pick up pace from the inside at the center, the miniature eye of the mind, rich interior. Sister walks under sunshine, heat prickling her skin. Little bites of heaven, she tucks him in and tells him, "Don't worry, everything is all right." But the sound of metal thunder eats the ground under, sends the dirt asunder, limbs scatter, homes shatter, feet rumble, before the sequel, when crescendo breaks, drops to a murmur. His eyes pucker, then jettison open. The kid still, quiet as ever, with skin in black and white, white and black. It makes no difference when no air is left. The man thinks of home, a dream, a wife, a kid, a little dog named Fred. But under trees, shadows take him, leaves welcome him, his skin sweat, his drilling chest. Time isn't a friend. We work within its rooms, silent cells, the castle dark, the jungle thick, which for the man never left. There's a little drawing for that too. What? Okay. Thanks for the waves. Thanks for saying I look sharp, Adam. I'm sure you do too. Oh yeah, sure. I'm not. I was we were watching a show actually, and it was about a vet from Vietnam. And then I just started kind of thinking about that, plus all the shootings that have been happening here, and I just kind of jumbled them together in my imagination, and then that came out. So I was pretty happy about it. But I was sort of thinking about somebody that just can't let go of something that has happened, and I found that the war was a good metaphor for that. But I didn't know that when I did it. I knew that after. This one's called Days Away. And I was reading Hemingway and trying to think of some beautiful things, but I realized I was neglecting all the beautiful things around me, like my wife over there, so I wrote this. So it's called Days Away. You wasted away as I sat reading my Hemingway, your hands stained turmeric orange, sores scabbed over, nails torn up to the shoulder. You stared helplessly into the light of day as I sat reading my Hemingway. Your eyes older out by dawn to make another buck, for another coat torn, picking weeds with knuckles bare, beating down into earth's clay, as I sat still reading my Hemingway. Yes, I did shout out to her, Val. It's good. I'm gonna take a drink of my coffee from my mug. This one's called Circle. I think people probably felt like this at some point in time. So. I can't and can. I can't and cannot. I can and can't. I can and cannot. I can and won't. I can and will not. I can and will. I can and would. I can and wouldn't. I can and would not. I can and don't. I can and do not. I couldn't and shouldn't. I couldn't and wouldn't and shouldn't. I could, but would rather not. Though I'd rather I could, I would. Really, I would. I can't and can. I can and will. I can and will not. But could, I would, I will. Yes. I'll flash it again. Thanks for liking my mug. Thank you. This one's called Back to School. It's just a little drawing. I put the kids in the corner. Stay down, face the wall, keep quiet. What else should I do? Fear is primal when pressed against broken glass and closed windows. Fantasy drifting, fantasy cinching, better to rest, it would seem. Stand between the rifle and the kiddos, the only way to go. So when it comes down to it, I'll be the first to eat the bullet. I'm okay with it. No, scared of it. Buy them time, make a break for it. Lives ground down into machine gun fodder. Father, help us, help me. I never learned how to pray. Do something, anything. When the smoke is cleared, bodies will dance the tango on their heads. Bald, white skulls, bored voices, tired words. Repeat, repeat, repeat the same old song, the same old story. Veiled despair. Uncaring they dare crown me a hero. Twist the needless sacrifice, the little lambs. Sleep tonight, spin it hopeful. Name a few more angels. Sarah, John, Rebecca, Sam, all multiplied to 0. No, there is a better way to save the day. Cabinets, yes, cabinets, they're heavy, aren't they? Bar it, the desks, the chairs, projectors, pencils, paints and computers, learning tools, weapons against fools. Brace the door, hold my breath, the shot will hit. Their little hopes sent home in text messages, tearful spirits. I'd send the message too, to my wife, I love you, thank you. I wish I could see you one last time before the bullet in the head. Dead, born again, on cable news comprised of too many Kelly Anns and Ingrams. We'll live in photos. I miss you. God, I miss you. Is this it? No, this is not the world. Yes, it is. We built it from stones and sticks. Death systematic. Keep us sucking on the tit, but the spigot has run dry. And here's the fix. This match for those sticks. Light it. Sit back. And this is just a drill. Everyone back to class. Hey, Kanal, what's up, man? I wrote that while we were in a lockdown drill together. So it's one of my students.
Yeah. Figured better Mr. M.
This one's called Nightlight, and there is no drawing for that one. Thanks, Val. The room was dark. My wife turned the light on. I could see my toes again. They wiggled, beating along with the tempo of my restless chest. I could see my hands again. They loosened as her hair ran over my skin. I could see my books again when only the night before the ink was just a stain void of meaning. I could see into the corners past every window, through every shadow. Notice, there are no monsters. No, not in here, where 1 + 1 = 1. There's another drawing for you. This one's called Arc. The blinds allowed light to stream in. She leaned over me, kissed my eyes with lips slick of honey and thyme. Winter turned to spring under the lids she let go, and a universe spread from a black hole at the center. Stars always linger brighter when it's darker. God didn't make any of this. What did? Just a kiss in the morning from a friend after a week of mourning. I think there's a Facebook problem. I'm gonna fix it. Okay. This one's really short. It's just called Winter Houses, so you can see it's small. It was cold, yes, but there was a light on, in each house I passed. I like that one. And this one's a bit longer. It's called Auto Body. Breezes at noon called for a flannel, loose, just how I like it. I shoved the sleeves up and lost my sight in the sun. Warm, perfect. Perfect day for an ice cream, I thought. Chocolate and white and brown and vanilla, coated in sprinkles, twinkling, crunching, scrumptious. Nothing beats it. I like it simple. Don't dip it, don't shake it, don't fry it, don't fluff it. Just keep it simple. Delightful. Cash or plastic, the cashier said. Plastic, I said. She wiped and I was free to lick. Man, wasn't it something, quite the kick. Outside DQ Pharrell's voice shouted smooth, in and out, swayed and swaggered, in and out, because I'm happy. What bullshit, I thought, until I saw him. A little boy around 9 or 10, his hands smacked against his knees, hidden under blue jeans. American flag jacket stitched to his back, flapped in the breeze. Come along if you feel, etc., I don't know the rest. Happy. He hit every beat, sucking his milkshake simultaneously. Sip, sip, I think it was chocolate, America, at its best. He jackknifed back, quick right, then left, then, holy shit, a split. This kid had it, capital I-T, it. The wind came in, chilling him, his bronze skin shined in the light of the open sign, flashing neon design. Detente, his father said. Leave him be, maldita sea, his mother said. So see. The father waved away the mother in a huff, sat hunched while proceeding to lick chocolate fudge. The boy's heels clicked together at attention. A quick fit. He sat back and continued to sip. Mother and father, father and mother turned away so as not to see each other. Mother faced the street, father faced the auto body shop, locked up, surrounded by a fence made of barbed wire, red berries wrapped around each line, around each spike. The boy bit his straw. Bit by bit he flattened it. Useless. Because I'm happy, his feet kept tapping. Because I'm happy, because I'm happy. And that's that for that. So I figured if you guys had any questions or anything, and then I could read some more. I'll try to read them as fast as I can, if you have any. Or if not, I'll just keep reading. Thanks, Heidi. And Arno, thanks for the ice cream. I just saw that. Favorite poem? I don't know. Reading them all over again, I kind of hate them all. I want to redo the book, but I felt pretty confident about the I Love Her one and the Hemingway poem, and also I really like the poem Circle, the one kind of that mental loop, because it's exactly what I feel like. Nice cat, Brian. But I felt like those poems kind of stood out and they said something and had a better sound to them, so I think those were stronger. Yeah, I am. Thanks, Eric.
Where do you usually write your poems? Favorite spots?
Outside of your house, Adam. That's my favorite spot. No, wherever I can get a chance, because I'm working all the time. So, in the car, in the bathroom, if possible. Wherever I can get a quiet spot at the school when I'm working. But favorite spot would be on the couch at home. Definitely. You asked me a question? Where do I find my instrument? Bathroom poems. I was actually thinking about calling them songs from the toilet, but I didn't do it. Where did I find my inspiration? I don't know exactly. I think it's everywhere, probably. Just looking at things, the trees, and definitely going into the feelings and then letting the subconscious, I think, do the rest of the work. I was gonna do it. I guess I'll do it if everybody likes it. Facebook's not working? Oh, whoops. It seems to be working. What? Yeah, I'll do that. It says it's working. I don't know, it says it's working, Lisa, actually. Hey. Yeah. Anybody have any other questions, or you want me to start reading some new ones?
When did you start writing?
I think I always just kind of did it, actually. Um, in college, I kept notebooks and journals a lot while I was on the train. Um, but I didn't start writing until I felt a little more confident after I took one writing course when I was in art school. Um, and the teacher showed us Not I by Samuel Beckett. Um, and then I just found something that kind of sounded like the voice in my head, so I started deciding to write it down. And Charles Bukowski, because I could actually understand what he was saying. So I started writing it down from there on, and then going from there. And yeah, actually that is true. I used to do movie reviews with my friends, so I forgot about that. I did all 3 Lord of the Rings, 5 stars. um, and then after grad school, when I got more comfortable with writing a lot of papers, I decided to write down, to sit down and to actually write, and go from there. They are 5-star movies, Brian, you know that. Not a 4.5, no, they still make me cry. Where's my other ones? Okay. I think I'll read a couple new ones. I'm gonna start talking about the Lord of the Rings if I keep reading these things. I was gonna read a couple new ones that I was working on because I felt like. Oh, Amy has a question on Facebook. When I start writing poems, poems officially started in college, senior year. I wrote a couple down and tried to get them published, but they didn't want them, so I just kept writing them anyway. They're in the trunk of my car actually, still. Hey, Lauren, what's up? So these are a couple new ones I've been working on. I just keep going, but I felt like reading them because I like them. So this is called Wade in the Water. I was never any good at beginnings, always preferring wide open endings. She unwrapped the plastic bag tied tight to her head, cheeks cherry red, swollen sacks of lead, swollen sacks of cherry red lead. She laid her crutch down, splayed the bag out with ceremony, splayed out the bag, sliding her hands end to end. Thank you, thank you, thank you, it read. Have a nice day, it shouted. She sat staring at the ground, just staring, just sitting. Was she ashamed of something? Did she see her choices stuck there in the linoleum, all too clear? I looked closer over my shoulder. Over my shoulder, I knew her. I never stopped thinking about her and the way she slept in the bio aisle, after fiction crammed between philosophy and religion. Cup of coffee in hand. It was only 25 cents then. Only 25 cents back then because of the kindness of one man, Aaron. Can I help you? The cashier said. Hey, thanks, yeah. Can I have a latte and a coffee for that woman? Over there, I said. Why? I knew her from a while back. Go ask her what she wants and it's on us. Thanks, man. I walked over, patted her on the back, shoulder blade left, patted her on the back, shoulder blade left. She turned, just dazed, eyes gone, away for days. Hey, how do you remember me? I said. Oh, yes, she said, yes. Time held back as she hung on her S. Time held fast as she hung on her S. Keep recalling the story. Tell her story. Give it peace, give it glory. I got you a cup of coffee. How do you take it? I said. Black, she said. That's right, I remember, black. Thank you, she said, smiling through the dead, growing in the oxygen, nuzzling against our shared skin. I remember back when her teeth had that gap in them, that one down the middle. Kids tend to have when their teeth are babies, still split down the middle, apart a finger length. Outside birds rested on electric. How are you doing? I said. Stupid question. I don't have long left, she said. A fist lodged in my throat. A fist, so. Wait here, I said. Wait here. The cashier handed me her coffee. I stuck $10 to the bottom. It's a meal at least. It's a meal at least. She went back to staring, dreaming, maybe, still as a brick building, foundation cracking, foundation supporting, still supporting, barbell memories. I handed her the coffee. She felt the money, smiled. There's that gap again. That girl you used to tell me about, remember? Whatever happened with you two? You were obsessed. Still am, I said. I married her. She cupped my shoulder, proud like the love of a mother. The closest other. I hugged her. When I did, something turned in me, free. Relief, maybe, like a sheet thrown off the body first thing in the morning. We pulled away. I gotta go, I said. Over there, I said. Oh, whoops. I totally messed up the page. Nice seeing you and thanks, she said. You'll be okay. We pulled away. I passed the sign, caution, wet floor, the air scented with rain outside. I felt her on me. She never left, oily thick, the scent of a soaked almond greased across my cheek. From behind the window of my car, I held my hand up and waved while listening to Springsteen. She waved back, but behind her expression I saw there in the knee-deep ink. She will always be waiting, in the water, waiting, steadfast against the raging current of sleep. I was never good at endings, always preferring wide-open beginnings. So I'm still editing them, so... Oh, good, Facebook's working now. Okay. These were mostly written once we got contained in our houses, so you might find it relevant. It's called Tree in the Containment Zone. She caught wind. She gained furry friends. She drank rain while shading her children, budding, growing from the roots. Without argument, without violence, without movement, she welcomed it all, knowing exactly where she needed to go. And so she grows. No, thanks. This one's called Punctuation. I don't hate being alive. I just hate murder and rape, penny dangling above lips chapped and mouth dry, waiting. I don't hate being alive. Really, I'm fine. I just hate fires raging, saws buzzing, radio silence, and the feeling of wanting every time, wanting just a little bit more. But no, like I said, I don't hate being alive. I just don't understand why we can't keep singing, less spitting, less twisting, bending, crunching, grinding, burying the living. A message to the living. Can't you see what you're doing? Where it's heading? Are your hands taped? Are your feet steady? Can you keep moving? Can you keep moving? Can you hear them? Why can't you hear them whispering? Open-palmed whispering. I'll say it again. I don't hate living. I just hate preaching with no speaking. Only demanding with words half empty, leaking promises, always reaching for what? I'll never know what, so stop. Stop, take a step back, look at the name. Closer now, look at the name. U.S., look at the name, U.S. Closer now, the periods, see them? Pluck them out, 1, 2, full stop. Now look at the name, closer, look at the name, say the word, say it clear. U.S., us. And again, clear, say the word, U.S., us. Repeat, U.S., us. Repeat, U.S., us. Like I said, I don't hate living when we all mean something. Oh, thanks, Brian. Bernie 2020. This one's called Chekhov, who's one of my heroes. Though I never got to meet him, but he's dead. Chekhov. For a moment, just a sliver of a second, I imagined Chekhov's hands writing, creasing life back into dead pulp, reviving with a needle stained black. Where were his hands? What were his hands like? A doctor, reviver, a poet, survivor. Were they big? Were they small? Did they show the effort that would go into being such a gentle, persistent soul? I don't know. I wouldn't know. Nor could I imagine what it would feel like to write words so kind and beautiful. I can't do it. I don't have it in me, though I'm grateful to this morning for giving me this picture of his hands, building, sculpting, shaping, if only for a moment, if only for a fraction of a second. This is another one called Two Millennials in a Post Office. Any cash back, she said. No thanks, I paused. I don't think I have any to take back. She laughed, smiling past her silver braces. I hear that. Fuck that first check of the month. It's the student loans, they take like half my pay. If it weren't for them, we'd be fine. I put my card back in my wallet, hidden so I wouldn't be tempted to use it. She held up her fist, wrapped in gloves made of purple plastic, a desperate attempt to stave off the winter virus. Stay alive, she said. You too, I said. Stay alive. It begs reminding. This one's called Hawkeye. Their wings spread, stretched, confident, catching kisses from a breath blown by lips invisible. To them, every day is an anniversary. The hawk, its own god above us, surveying its property, with knived vision, choosing which one of us to swoop up. Against its prey, the only prejudice is the limp in my right leg. Their judgment based on necessity only, unlike the angels who fly through, above, underneath, careless. Were they? Yes. Leave me to the hawk instead. I prefer their judgment, a little less bitter. Let them take me up, their talons in, open up lung, open up. I don't mind the pain I don't mind. Because maybe then, just before the end, just once, I could feel just once what it would be like to be above this virus. Loved, my first word. I like that hashtag, it's funny. And this one's called Talk to Me. Little mouths pucker, little mouths open, ready to speak. I ask them, will you kiss her hand? They respond with a gust, soft as cotton, but their answer is clear. With what little they have left, they open a centimeter, giving her their water, whistling their music. Little white bells ring, in my head ring, little white bells, not church bells. There are no churches here anymore, at least not made of brick and mortar. No, those bells were all torn down by his orders. But these little white bells continue to ring, with every cool push of wind they swing, away from the plagued air which in the past carried them back. And this is a short one. It's called Is This It? One day I'll be that cloud, shaped like a lamb, cut loose from the flock, ghosting through breezes as people look in quiet contemplation. Just a simple one. That's all the ones I had planned, but if you guys have any other questions, I can answer them too. And then I could read more, because I could just go through. So I'll wait a couple seconds. Yeah.
Every day.
I always feel like I'm consistently in writer's block, and I just have to figure out how to get through it all the time. I was thinking about this the other day. I think writer's block is just maybe my brain trying to work something out, sort of like a roadblock. And if I could just figure out how to get around that, I can kind of get to my destination. So usually getting around that means living my life, and just pay attention. And I think, for me at least, good writing and good art is careful listening, and if I'm not listening carefully enough, then I don't know what to write. So being a better person means making better art. That's kind of how I get past it. And just reading and having fun watching movies that I like and help kind of move the soul around, I guess. Hope that wasn't pretentious. But
Who's your favorite poet?
my favorite poet? I have a lot that I like, but favorite rapper is Kendrick Lamar. But favorite poet, definitely Samuel Beckett for sure. Even though I like his plays a lot. Chekhov is not a poet, but I like his short stories. Mary Oliver I really love. Right now especially, I've been reading her a good amount. And let me look at my bookshelf. I always forget. And he's sort of playwright and also poet, but Sam Shepard for me, I think he's the best. Those are my tops. Thanks, John. I also like the Wu-Tang Clan, but I didn't work them into these poems. He's awesome. I also started reading Raymond Carver's poems, actually. They were really good. Like little stories. Facebook question. Do I do illustrations with drawing? Yeah, I do. In the book, you can see them. I really started off by drawing. That's kind of what I did since I was a kid, and tried to write comic books when I was little. So I tried to keep doing the drawings too, along with the words. They kind of feel like the same thing to me.
Is the art behind your work?
No, those are comic book artist things I just kind of found along the years.
The one in the top corner.
Oh yeah, I think that painting of Harrison Ford in the top right is mine.
Oh, you can't really see it in here, but this one is.
And the one top right too. What projects are you working on in quarantine? Besides trying to teach virtually every day, I'm really just writing single poems. A couple of those I actually wrote while we were in quarantine. So I'm working on a new book. I also have been trying to break down some short stories I wrote into poems. So that's something I'm gonna work on more of. Let's see. This is the book I used to write too. Anybody have any other questions? Virtual teaching, it's okay. I was saying to somebody today, it's the worst part of teaching, all in one thing, just grading and meetings and emailing people. So all the fun parts are gone, but doing the best we can, at least a paycheck. Do you like that one? Oh, my wife's telling me I should read the one I wrote today. Should I read two that I wrote today? Alright, this one I wrote today, so I'm working on it still, so it might not be done, but it's called Boyhood. I was afraid to see her body, not because I heard from the other kids it was scary, but because looking put the period at the end of her story. They made me look anyway. That's the trouble with being a boy under the expectations of men. Never will we get the opportunity to look away again. Most of the poems I've been working on now are a lot longer, so those are taking more time. And the one I wrote today is... I have to mind all the cross-outs, but I'm going to get around them. So this one, the one I wrote today that I'm still working on, is called I Turned Off My Alarm Clock. Why close your eyes? They're just resting, she said. So rest, I let her, watching each breath depress, expelling into the thick ink night. I think I'll give her 5 minutes, just 5 minutes before we get back at it. Ivory hands pulled ahead with one finger first, slowly, then two, quicker now. Their strength found three as they made their way around. A little death popped in my chest. By the one, is there enough time? 2, nothing is quicker than time. 3, nothing is slower than time. 4, is this the last time? 5, I think she needs more time. I let the hand scratch pass to 6, while she cooled, stripped, giving me whatever heat she had left. I took advantage, of course, cuddling her feet, by her feet, letting time eat her free, so I could rest a few more quiet minutes next to a love like cherry pie, no less sweeter than blueberry wine. That's I just did that today, so. See if I can read another new one. Do you want to hear new ones or the ones from the book?
Mixture.
A mixture? Okay.
Ariel said that was so good.
That one?
Yeah.
See, I didn't like it. I was thinking to work on it more. I thought it was bad. Goes back to the writer's block question, I guess. Thanks, Ariel. See which one I want to read from you. I'm not too neat about what I do either. This one's pretty short but small. It's called Felicity. I was reading Mary Oliver, pining to go outside, but the only piece of nature I could get were the wilting roses on my desk, reaching past the ceiling. One final attempt while they listened to the birds speak, to the rain tease melodies from the iPhone beside me. My least favorite? I gotta think of which one it is. That was probably one of them, actually. This is just more of a joke, but I'll read this one's quick, and then I'll read the worst one, I think. It's called Guilt Free. Joel Osteen's net worth is around $60 million. My net worth is $263. He prays. I don't. I guess God is good. That's some of the new ones. The rest of them are kind of, they're too scratched up to read, so.
People like the Joel Osteen one?
Yeah, that was funny. Oh, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, they're cool. I'll read a few more from the book if you guys want. This one's called Joy. This is from the book that you can buy, because I need money. From out in the cold, covering darkness, I looked past the window. My blood warmed. A girl cupped her chin as she was mathematically instructed, trying her best to be illuminated. I remembered childhood when boredom was a luxury. This place reminded me quite easily what it meant to be happy. Happy, like when Mom bought my first book, which to this day I blow dust from nightly. If anybody read the book, do you want me to read one in particular? Or did nobody buy it? I'll take that as nobody bought it. This one's called Silent Night, Holy Night. I wrote it in December and threw it in the book the last minute. We never hugged much, but schemes of Nintendo dreams took us by the collar, one opposite the other, brother and sister. The little Lord sleeps tonight. You put your finger to your lips and whispered, shh. I collapsed, nerves twisted in joyous knots. Santa Claus is coming. Can you hear the wind strumming? I snuggled into your side. You held my excitement in your shaking hands. Can you hear the paper crumbling? That's not Mom rapping. Sleep, sleep, you whispered to me while tucking me into X-Men sheets. My eyes couldn't close, they jangled like reindeer bells, and on the third opening a crimson light shined. Rudolph is down the street, you told me. I held my breath, another Christmas passed. In time, I grew hair in random places, as we grew away, encased in different headspaces. Christmas became a silent night. Rudolph was just a traffic light, but magic became real after that night. I was trying to be more positive, so... This is called Nuclear Bliss. None of this is new, I just want to talk to you. A nuke explodes, celebrities kiss, the damage not assessed. I look out of my window and see the world keeping on in bliss, graphite glow of radiation. As I hold his boiling hand crumbling, twisted through all of this behind a tent made of plastic. Help me see I can do more than I have. Give me a hand and please let me do what I can. I ask him, I tell them to look, but they only see what they don't want to see, a deteriorating body. If they saw clearly, they know I speak of love only.
Do you have a poem called Appetite?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Ariel wants to hear that.
Oh, I'll read that for you, Ariel. I just gotta find it. I forgot what page it's on. Do you remember what page it was on?
Don't you have table of contents?
Yeah. I guess I'll go to the table of contents. What was it called?
Appetite.
Oh.
The beginning, she said.
Oh, it's in the beginning. Oh, okay. Got it. Thanks. Alright, so, appetite, that's for you, Ariel. I turned right. The sky and I were met, and it swallowed me, infinitely, streaming through lakes of crimson. Cadmium glow, dream, eat the truth, or absolve the name. 1,000 white hands fly in the wind. We've lived too long, drenched in the blood of the dove. I actually wrote that one at the old church, by the way. After class was over, I stayed late. Got a couple others I'll read to you. Are curse words okay?
You've been cursing.
Okay, because thanks, Ariel. This one's called Kangaroo, and this actually happened to me. But I was walking out of Barnes and Noble, and this lady started yelling at people to turn off their cars because they were idling them, and she was yelling at a guy who was the complete opposite of her, all the way to the right. And then they were just arguing together in the street. But both of them at the end drove away. Her in a Mercedes, even though she was talking about keeping the environment clean, and then him in a big truck. So I just thought it was funny and kind of spoke some truth. So I wrote it down. And this was also happened when all the fires were going on in Australia. So it's called Kangaroo. Kangaroos hop to relieve exploding flames out from their pouches as another story took place 10,512 miles away, a desolate blank yet beautifully paved landscape. Don't idle the car, fucker, she said. He got out of the truck, lit a cigarette, and spit. What you say, he said. Don't idle the fucking car, man, she said, waving her hand like a winded Beretta. Mind your business, lady, he said. This is my business, she said. Leave me alone, bitch, he said. Fuck you, she said. Why don't we just talk about this, her husband said. Together, they said, stay out of this. I can do whatever I want whenever I want, he said. And you're killing it, she said. Killing what? Don't you feel how cold it is? Global warming my dick, he said. Spoken like a true ignoramus, she said. Fuck off, lady, he said. Fine, asshole, peace, peace, she said, while waving middle and pointer wild in the air. Fucking prick, she added below the last breath. He continued to idle. Smoke suffocated the moon. In the sewer he threw a few plastic bottles with a cackle, as she, meanwhile, growled at everyone sitting idle. People just trying to keep warm from below zero. She waved the peace sign, not so humble. She got into her car, slammed the door. He went back into his, beeping his horn. Their engines revved, her Mercedes-Benz, his Ford Super Duty F650. Oh well, here it is, the future, unraveling, unchanging. I didn't make up the curse words, they were just there. What's up? Yeah. I'll read, I guess, a couple more and then we'll sign off. I thought this one was funny. It's just called Morning Dialogue. Sam Shepard wrote all these dialogue pieces. I never knew you could do that, so it kind of inspired me to do it. What do you want to do today? I don't know. You don't know? No, I don't know. I don't know. How can you not know? You never know. I know. Of course that you know. Why's that? I don't know. I don't know anything. Why? I don't know. I guess I'm afraid, to be honest. Saying something definite and putting that period at the end of it makes it seem dangerous or something. I don't know. No, I know. It's terrifying for me, too. But I have to because you won't. So this is my fault? No, I didn't say. I don't know. Why do you always have to read into everything I say and think it's me attacking you? I don't know. How did I know you would say that? I don't. If you say that one more time, can you finish that sentence? Go on, finish it. Everyone says that same line, but they never know what comes next. Me leaving you, that's what comes next. I don't want you to leave, but if you gotta go, go. I don't want to. I just wish you'd try sometimes. Take the first step, you know? I know, I'm sorry. I don't mean anything by it. It's just how I am. I don't want to say no to you. I don't ever want to say no. You can, you know. I know, but I don't like to. It hurts. I want to see you happy. I like when you smile, weird and wacky. I'm not weird. Yeah, you are. So am I, though. So is everyone? You bet. You want to get breakfast? Yes. Just like all the normal things that happened. Oh, okay. I don't remember what page it's on, but I'll...
Look at the table of cards.
This one's really short, but I'll read it for you, Adam. It's one sentence. How do you win? Don't play. Any other requests? This is another short one too. I'll read it. I thought it was funny. It's called "I'm Not a Racist." Which guy? The black guy? Bill said. Yeah, the black guy. They're not all bad, Bob said.
Malibu.
Oh, I could read that. Yeah, I was actually gonna do that one. This is called Malibu. It's for you, Michelle. Brisk breeze, wind grabbing palm trees, music extricated from leaves, distilled in deep green, black behind the raw sun. The ocean bellowed, rocking back, gentle, cool whispers of summer, lover's gesture, toward strangers, kindness, and... I scrolled down. America's Top Pillow, 30% off, plus free Giza sheets, queen size. I scrolled down, then. They tell me the world is drowning. Malibu, a nest for seaweed, and the only palm trees we've seen for centuries are those coated behind black screens. Since I like Bukowski, I'm going to read this because it's about him.
Sam said that you have a nice voice.
Who did?
Megan's sister, Samantha.
Oh, thank you, Sam. I don't really like my voice, but it is my voice, so I have to use it. This one's called Raspberries, and it's for Charles Bukowski. She left me berries in the night. I bookmarked Chuck with a piece of toilet paper, 2-ply, just right. She brought me mangoes in the morning, but I sat thinking about how to be Bukowski. No beer for me. I'm gluten-free. Though pustules pop and ooze white all over me, quite the same, comma, check the name. The stomach curdles when the keys won't hammer. Hammer, the sacred word used, car symbols, barred meanings, they never change. Kill the man that killed the man. That's it. Every thought, every word, every false wound, fraud, imposter, artist, am I one and the same? Don't correct me. I don't want to be corrected. I'm a bastard, twilled and skin noxious, cutting ants in two, taking home none, too bright, to manage light. The pen moved with the curve of her left hip, one mountainous, one limp. She left me berries in the night. I bookmarked Chuck with a piece of toilet paper, 2-ply. Just right. Don't waste time, don't waste paper, don't waste a dime. No promotion, no gimmicks, just feed me the next line. think we got like 2 minutes left. Oh, thanks, Val. Anybody have any like last minute questions before we end? And then I'll end with one. My computer sounds like it's gonna explode. But... No. Oh, Dan Kaiser has a question. What's the biggest fear in how you wrote when you started now? Well, you know the answer to that because I talked to you. No, I think before I felt like I was just kind of writing blindly, but once I started understanding there's a musicality to everything, and there's more, and I started working with the rhythm of things, it sort of just started to click. And it makes sense because my wife told me that I listen to music and I love lyrics more than anything, which is true. So poetry seemed to make the most sense. Plus, I have a really short attention span, so now I've been working with that and writing things shorter instead of long-winded, boring things like I was doing before. Oh, Maggie, it's not working? Oh. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. It seems like it's working for some people. MF Doom. I'll check him out. Yeah, if someone told me to listen to him, actually. Thank you. I think we have time for like one last one if you want. Let's try to keep it not too... Since it's the last one, I'll do the poem called The Short One, because it's only a short amount of time. Thanks, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So this is called The Short One. There's the drawing. Sorry, I'm trying to do 2 screens. You and I are the same height, 5'5". You never bought lifts. You never wore heels. You never tied bricks to the soles of your Chanels. You never danced on pogo sticks or showed up on stilts. You never stood on a hill dangling above me, looming, a darkened cloud. In fact, that one time I recall you crouched, looking up at me, your spine curved the shape of a C, just so I could see you and me sing till we disappear into seas over seas. Yeah, I guess I can end it there. It's at 7, unless you have any questions or anything. But yeah, if you wanted to buy it, you can buy it on Amazon. Or from me, if you just send me an email on Instagram. Oh, thanks for tuning in. Glad you had fun. Alright, take care everybody. Thank you for tuning in. See you later.